Welcome to First Zoomitarian, an online gathering of the First Unitarian Church of South Bend. This last week or two has been a crash course in me trying to learn new technologies like Zoom and YouTube. It reminds me of the time decades ago when I was good at technology and could do these things fairly well, when I could answer calls from my mother and tell her, yes, turn it off and turn it back on again. That's how you fix the computer. And of course, the time when I was talking to a help desk about my own issues and they said, you should turn it off. And I insisted I had turned it off. Thank you very much. And they said, no, really, just for us, turn it off and turn it back on again this one time. And that fixed the issue. Computers are maddening and frustrating, and sometimes turning them off and on again is the only way to fix them. Decades later, technology is still frustrating for me sometimes. And these days, that's only one more thing to be frustrated about. Life in a pandemic is scary and angry and upsetting. We humans are resilient. I have hope that we will get through it together. I take hope from the stories like the 1,000 retired healthcare professionals who showed up to volunteer in New York City to put their lives in harm's way so that the world might be safer. And like the So Loved Women's Center here in South Bend, So Loves, spelled SEWLOVED, who are trying to make face masks so that the shortages of masks in the healthcare environment can be remedied a little bit anyway. If you want to help them deliver the fabric to their seamstresses or pick it up and deliver them to the healthcare agencies, see their Facebook page, So Loved Women's Center. I am convinced that human beings are resilient. And I got to tell you, it's still difficult. Feeling disconnected from my fellow humans is exactly why I sought out a church in the first place. Having to segregate and isolate ourselves is the right thing to do, and it makes it harder for me and for others, I have heard. And it's going to be harder before it gets better. One of my ministerial colleagues wrote a story on Facebook yesterday. Her husband and children played a prank on her, yelling the toilet had broken. It was an emergency. By her own admission, she didn't take it very well. She wrote, the result was me yelling, nothing is okay right now. Do you understand that? And then sitting on the couch and sobbing. Not about the toilet or the prank, but simply in a moment of real physical reaction to the constant emotional and neurological overwhelm I've been dealing with. She eventually recovered and reconnected with the family, and she wrote, what I have to say is this: these times are not normal. Even if you're engaging this at the moment as primarily a long-needed rest, your body probably knows that it isn't. Our neuroaffective selves know a fuller truth. These times are not normal. And you don't have to feel sad if you're happy or troubled if you aren't. You should feel the natural, normal human emotions that you are feeling. She goes on to say, what I had to say is this also. You've probably been through not normal times before. A major move, a job loss or transition, a separation or divorce, a significant medical crisis. You probably have, and I invite you to remember some things about that, including the grief, including the anger, including the ways you had to learn to be gentle with yourself and with those going through it with you. Gentle in your spaces together, gentle in your future thinking, which may at times mean the next few minutes. This time is not normal. Your body knows this, and your body probably also knows some things about coping and the slower and more gentle ways we might have to move in the meantime. End quote. My colleague is much more eloquent than I am, and she is evidently more confidently living into her emotions. Because to be honest, friends, there are times when I feel like I am freaking out. I've been to a lot of Zoom meetings this week, maybe a dozen or so, and whenever we had a check-in, I said the same thing, that I'm rapidly cycling between excitement over co-creating a new way of connecting and absolute shutdown overwhelm. We were already in crisis. We are now in crises. The climate crisis, the rise of violent nationalism all over the globe, an economic collapse. It's like the meme I saw online when humans said, we can't possibly shut everything down in order to lower emissions, slow climate change, and protect the environment. And Mother Nature responded with, here's a virus, practice. Just like with computers, our globe needs a reset. This is a hard reboot, an opportunity to reimagine and restart a lot of things. Life as we knew it is over. And since we have to make something new, let's co-create this new world with humane values. We can create housing for all. We can decriminalize poverty. We can provide healthcare that's not just better co-pays for people with jobs, but real wellness care and time off and preventative medicine. We can have family leave. Some places have already stopped evictions. Some places are no longer collecting on medical or student debt. We can create your own progressive fantasy here. We can create a world which works for all of us, not just the wealthy few. Malcolm X said, when I is replaced with we, even illness becomes wellness. So please create that we. Reach out to others. Make sure they're okay. Even if you cannot visit them in person, even if you cannot offer food or medicine, we can offer them connection. We can strengthen our interconnected web of life. And we can use this time to strengthen ourselves, to reboot or deepen our own spiritual practice. Sun salutations, chalice lightings, grace at meals, gratitude practice, journaling. Re-engage your spiritual self so that any new world we co-create will be grounded in humane values. Finally, may we do any and all of this with gentleness. Let us be kind to ourselves and to each other. So may we be.